call the March meeting of the Rockland Community College Board of Trustees to order. Madam Secretary, we call the roll.
Mr. Lewis?
Present.
Mr. Boyd?
Present.
Mr. Rand?
Here.
Mr. Workday?
Here.
Ms. Dillon is here. Ms. Ramos? Here. Mr. Tao?
Here.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank Ben, who's not here, for getting this set up in this venue, which I think is going to be much more comfortable for both the trustees and for the audience. So thank you, Ben. Secondly, I'd like to remind all the trustees that we do have live mics now, so make sure that you're aware of that.
If you're a whisperer.
Do we have any public comments?
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Baker?
Good evening. I met with our membership, the Rockland Community College Federation of Teachers, last Thursday for one of our regular meetings, and some of our members indicated that they would like to become more friendly with the board, to get to know the board members, and for you to get to know them and what they do, what their interests are. One of my comments was they would know you if they attended these meetings. But having said that to them, they suggested having some sort of a gathering, a social, I'll use that term in quotes, and I asked Dr. Wood if he thought that was a good idea, and he thought it was great. So I'm working with Ben to arrange something. We might start with the Executive Committee of the RCFT and the Senate Executive Committee as well, because the Senate thought it was a great idea as well. And this way we can meet, talk, get to know what our faculty do, what their interests are, you know, what their departments are, and then get to meet you and realize that neither of you bite, and to develop a better rapport with each other. So I just want you to know that we're looking forward to having that meeting as soon as I work out the arrangements with Ben. And I thank Dr. Wood for agreeing to that. So, have a good evening.
Thank you, Dr. Baker. Dr. Wood?
Yes. There are no, you have my HR update, which is the one that was in your board packets when we had our workshop, and there are no new appointments since that time. We do have a number of interviews in process, and I expect by the April board meeting we will have some new appointments. And I do anticipate within the next week we will be recommending an assistant director of public safety. And as you know, that's been a major priority. And they have excellent candidates, and we're very close to making an offer and moving forward with that activity. And I'm pleased that we can do that. I was also telling them in terms of our safety issues today that I talked again with the people who are responsible for the engineering project at the road at the corner of Viola and the College Road, and they anticipate being finished with that part by August 31st, and it will provide us an emergency egress from the campus, which is something else that has been suggested, so those are good safety issues. Tomorrow morning, Dr. Deere and Associate Vice President Deltor and I will be at the IRG offices, which is at the old Pfizer site. We have to learn to say IRG. And we'll have there also Leslie Watley, the head of Startup New York, who is very anxious to meet with them. And we're going to talk about making a very large, up to 100,000 square feet, a Startup New York, which the college will manage. And also then as part of that agreement I'll be bringing to the board in April, I think, anticipate a memorandum of understanding that we will open the New York technological incubator in the fall, and it will be up to maybe initially we thought 10,000 square feet, but perhaps 20,000 square feet. And they are providing all of the resources for that. And as I indicated, that we have some other additional money for operating expenses from Pfizer. So it will be a project that there will be no cost to the college, and it really is a great opportunity for our region. So I'm very excited, and I hope that in the near future that they've identified the site, we'll find a time for you all to go and see the facility. It's in a prominent location on that on that IRG campus, we now have to learn to say. So I'm very, very excited about that. And we just submitted our paperwork to start up New York for the property, the brewery at the Garnerville Arts Center. And so that is in progress, and we hope that since it took so long with the first one that we learned something, but we're very anxious to move forward with that. We'll be talking more about that microbrewery in that site, and it's going to be a tourist site, and it'll be kind of a very interesting location for us and provide some very unique opportunities for our hospitality students and some special certificate programs in beverage management and some other pricing and other things. So we're very excited about that. And then we just all please save the date for our automotive technology grand opening on Tuesday, May the 3rd. We anticipate a large crowd, and we're very excited about that. And I had one of the members of the foundation board is also on the board of SCORE, and they meet in my conference room a couple of times a month. And he came in and asked me to call a Rockland business owner who owns, I think it's 8 in Rockland and 1 in Orange and 1 in Westchester, automotive specialized parts place, and they had his co-owners had seen the facility, and so we will be meeting with him next week. They're very anxious in being a corporate partner, and I think we've told you that's one of our goals, to have as many corporate partners there and to do as much specialized training as we can do, and we're really already seeing that come to fruition. And Dr. Deere had a special meeting to really plan that we develop a full schedule of classes for students who could take all of their classes if they would like to in the fall at the center there, using our classrooms and doing some creative scheduling. The other thing, everybody is anxious about the residence hall, and we did last Thursday, Mr. Wartendike and Dr. Hussein and I met with the county executive, the assistant county executive, and with the chair of the legislature and a couple of the key members of the legislature, and talked about the letter of intent. They seemed very receptive, and I do know that then on Friday that Mr. Day's office did forward that letter of intent. I did send a note to Legislator Wolf and Legislator Schoenberg, who's head of the Finance Committee, urging them to move that forward as quickly as possible. And so I did remind them that we had given all of the legislatures a packet. So that's really the next step in the process. And once that resolution is approved, Dr. Hussein is in consultation with the appropriate people at the county so that we can move as forward as quickly as we can for the next step, which will be to identify how we will move forward with the second phase, the planning and the design phase, and the funding. And so it's still a very close call for the fall of 2017, but we're going to keep moving as quickly as we can, and we're very optimistic. And that's my report, unless there are any questions. And you do have my this month's report, and I had a little fun. Professor Coleman, I want you to know I wrote something about St. Patrick's Day. I think you will appreciate. She's been very involved in our Irish Heritage program. She has a March birthday, and she was born on St. Joseph's Day. Is that where you got your name? So you're as Irish as something, right? She was telling us today her children do step dancing. So.
No, Irish competition music.
Oh, Irish competition music, okay. Anyway, and there are a couple of pictures I put in for fun. One is our student involvement office had a game day, and they invited administrators to come over, and I played a lot of Uno for an hour last week, which I hadn't done in a very long time. And I kind of came back to me, and they really are creating a lot of opportunities for students to be on the campus and just conversations. And I think if you walk around the campus, certainly I sense that many, many more students spend much more time here. And I think we all agree, I think security would agree. And it really creates a nice atmosphere in students if they identify with the college. And then on the next page, I think I told you a couple of weeks ago, we had a graduation ceremony here in our Veterans Lounge for this peer mentoring program. And we had 2 staff members who are part of that mentoring program, and we're now going to be meeting with them. They would like to offer that course here on the campus for students, both veterans and non-veterans, who are interested in providing support. And I had a call from the psychiatrist who runs the program, and we're in the process of setting up a meeting to talk with him about offering this course here at the college on a regular basis which provides support, mentoring support for veterans. So I'm very pleased that we can continue to expand our activities for veterans. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wood. Okay, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the meeting, at the end of this meeting, we're going to go into executive session to discuss the employment of a particular individual. We're also going to switch now to item number 5 on the agenda until Trustee Taub returns, so we can vote on this. So, Dr. Deere, can you give the academic affairs report?
I was going to read the names. Can I go ahead and do that, or do I have to wait?
Here he comes.
Here he comes. All right, why don't you let us vote on any three?
Okay.
All right, on the consent agenda this evening, there are 8 items. There are 7 resolutions and 1 approval of the previous meeting minutes. All of these items have been discussed at our workshop and have been vetted by the board. However, if any board member decides that they want one or any of these resolutions to be voted on independently, they can choose to do that. So if there's anyone that wants to have one of these agenda items removed,
I need to have one separated. It's number 16. Mr. Ellingson, I'm sorry. I have to recuse myself from the vote. I'm sorry. It's the one that's got it.
Okay.
And the reason that I'm abstaining is Eric was a student of mine.
okay, so resolution number 16 will be voted on independently. All right, I'm going to read the consent agenda at this time. Number 1 is the approval of the previous meeting minutes dated 2/18/2016. Number 2 is the approval for the reappointment of non-tenured faculty for academic year 2016-2017, second year. That's resolution 14-2016. Number 3 is the approval for the reappointment of non-tenured faculty for academic year 2016-2017, third year. This is resolution 15-2016. Number 4 will be voted on separately. Resolution number 5 is the approval of amendment to permanent transcript notation policy. That's resolution 17-2016. Number 6 is the removal and installation of the field house roof system. This is resolution 18-2016. Number 7 is the approval to create the position of Director of Diversity and Inclusion / Chief Diversity Officer and promote Melissa Roy to the position of Director of Diversity and Inclusion / Chief Diversity Officer. This is resolution 19-2016. And the last, number 8, is the approval to create the position of Chief of Staff and Secretary to the Board of Trustees and to promote Ben Naylor to the position of Chief of Staff and Secretary to the Board of Trustees. And that's resolution 20-2016. And I have a motion to approve.
Moved.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
Congratulations, Ben.
Congratulations. Okay, now we're going to vote on resolution number 16, 2016, and I will read that. This is for the approval of reappointment of non-tenured faculty for academic year 2016-2017. Grant of tenure resolution 16-2016. Can I have a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
Who was that?
Order.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Uh,
All opposed? Motion carries.
One
Abstention.
abstention.
One abstention.
Yes,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Dana Stilling? Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Dr. Deere.
You have my report. I'd also like to share with the board that on Monday, we had our first real college-wide forum and under our new shared governance model. And I thought that it went very, very well. We had the 3 governing bodies there reporting out to the campus, as well as the 2 vice presidents and the president. And so I felt that for the first one, it went exceptionally well. There were over 100 people in the audience from across the campus. Our next one will be April 26th, and I'll send out information on that. The only thing that we felt was that we held it in the Cultural Arts Theater, and we felt that it wasn't really conducive to interaction. So what we're going to do is we're going to try having it in the Ellipse so that we can get more people engaged and having conversation. So I'll keep you posted. I do have 3 resolutions that were passed by the board, but I'd like to read for the public. I'd like to read the names of those people who were reappointed. So for the second year, we have Sarah Annunziata, who's in nursing, Ronald D. Ramon, who's in business, Harry Leftfeld, who's in auto tech, Robin Lau, who's in English, and Eric Santomo, who's in nursing. The third year reappointments for 2016-17 are Kathleen Babcock in OTA, or occupational therapy, Catherine Kopp Brown in green buildings maintenance, Eileen McAvery Kane in art, Talia Lipton in speech, and Dr. Jeffrey McLean in science. For the 6th year, which is also tenure and promotion to assistant professor, we have Cliff Ader in criminal justice, Odessa Butler in science, Eric Ellingson in human performance, who's in the audience tonight, and Nathaniel Williams in business. That's my report, unless there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would just add, this is a really exceptional group of people going for big tenure. Eric, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
AVP Stilly?
Good evening. You have my written report. I am prepared to share with you final student headcount numbers for spring 2016 enrollment. Our enrollment was down 3.2%, which translates into 209 students, with the bulk of those students being in the continuing admit status role. I also want to share that we are making very good progress in reestablishing our relationship with our partners in the East Ramapo School District. I've held 2 meetings over the past couple of weeks with personnel, and we are going to be increasing the number of courses offered in Spring Valley High School, and we will be back offering high school program courses in Ramapo High School. We also had great conversations about how we can collaborate with the Liberty Partnership Program, the high school program, and the TRIO program as they come back to enroll here full-time. So I think we're making great strides. It will help the college and it will also help the district. And that's my report.
Any questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Hussein?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like for the board to know that we're going to make very good use of the space you just left, which is the 3rd floor of Brucker Hall. In an effort to integrate all operations of business and finance, we're going to move the offices of purchasing, accounts payable, and payroll in on one floor, and they'll all be moving from the tech building because the other offices are already there. So hopefully it'll make for more efficient operations. And you already have my report, unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Hussein. Secretary's report. Okay, foundation report.
April 1, coming up 2 weeks, the foundation luncheon. Lots of great honorees. I think everybody's going. Did I see an email that everybody at this point is on the board is going? That's great. So we're going to have full attendance at various tables. And I have actually some space at the table that I got that I have to figure out what to do. So I might be giving you some more student tickets in a couple of days. But they're doing a great job with it, and I know how hard they work on it because I get emails from Don Carnes just about every day as they're hounding me for names and where I want the Caesar salad, et cetera, et cetera. So they're really, they work very hard on it, so I'm looking forward to it. That's it.
Okay. I'd also like to thank all the board members. I think we had also full participation in buying sponsorships and of attendance also. And I know a number of the trustees have bought entire tables, so that's really fantastic, and thank you. Okay, NICET report.
I'm working on my monthly update for all of you. There is a meeting, and if I say the wrong date, correct me, in April, a one-day workshop, an education workshop. Is it the 23rd?
I think it's the 23rd, yeah.
Right. If you're interested in going, let them know. It's up outside of Albany.
Any questions? Student government report.
Yeah, so everyone's report seems to be very short today, so I'm gonna make up for the short reports and give you guys a little bit of a long one since I know you guys are all excited. I've taken a lot from being on the board, and one thing is efficiency, and with that in SGA, so it's recorded so we can play this back. But so we switched our system to a written report, and it's gone pretty interesting so far, so I know we have that for hours, and we switched over to that for SGA because the meetings, you know, they are long. I mean, if we all had written verbal reports, we got up instead, they last till about 7 o'clock. So it makes it much more efficient. So I don't know who came up with the idea for the board, but whoever did, thank you, because it's working well for us. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about some of our senators that are doing projects right now. Emma Coulter-Miro, who is running for the Board of Trustees, did a voter registration table and had over, she told me 100, I heard from Tammy over 200 people actually registered to vote today. And when Carlucci was here to talk about concussions in this building last Thursday, he was so interested in Emma's project that he's actually working with her, and he might get some media there, and he had a representative from his office come, and I believe he's going to be coming on Friday to help her sign people up to vote, which is awesome. And I also want to give a mention to Tall, who's here as well. He's been helping student involvement a lot, moving a lot of pencil and paper office functions to online and helping SGA with his savviness technologically. So he's helping everything make it more efficient. So thanks to both of them a lot. Another project that I want to highlight is Mary Rink. She's working with public safety to put together a commercial, and she's also majoring in communication. So I mean, that goes right up her alley. Sidra and Ume, who have opened up the Center for Muslim Life along with many others. It's going very well, and I hear there's people there every single day, so that's definitely a plus. And Kai, who is a freshman senator, is translating how to apply classes, degree organizations, and clubs, and working with the ESL department as well to translate those websites into, it's already translated into Japanese, Chinese, and Korean is almost done. And by the end of the semester, she hopes the website will be translated into French, Arabic, and Spanish. So those are some interesting reports that are happening with SGA. Damien is going to be working with Dr. Deere for the college forum, if I'm correct, which is, do I have the, yeah. And SGA will be coming and will be in attendance. And we had liaisons go to Albany to go there for base aid and ask the legislators for it. And we had a bit of a miscommunication with student involvement and SGA. But I think the interesting thing was, it was a smaller group of people, which we would obviously love to have more, but they were 3 students, I believe, who were not the most outspoken people in SGA, and they went, and I heard reports that they spoke phenomenally, and they got outside of their comfort zone and really took it upon themselves to represent SGA in the school. So while the negative of the miscommunication between student involvement and SGA with some of our more outspoken members didn't work out as well, it gave a few students an opportunity to really go outside of their comfort zone and shine in Albany, to go there and ask for base aid. So I thought, well, there were some negatives and positives outweighed that, and it was an amazing experience. And today, I had a couple students actually come up to me whom I didn't know, who knew that I was on the board, who voiced some positive things and some concerns, which I can talk to Dr. Wood about later, because it's not really a huge thing, but it's just interesting. These surveys that I put out early on, they said that's how they knew who my name was, and I'm just going out and trying to publicize who we are. I think it's interesting later in the semester that we're getting some positive feedback from that. And I usually don't talk about committees, but our Budget and Finance Committee, who is headed by Madeline Pereira, we have to do $100,000 of cuts in the student activities fees, which is definitely difficult, but I think it's an interesting process that we're learning from, and we're trying to do it fair. So I think that's just something to be noted, that the budget for our student activities is going down, but we're going to try and definitely be fair about it, and we're taking this very seriously, and we're meeting about twice a week to make sure that we're very thorough with it. And Damien, who's our president, is putting together a street team with Martha Rotman and Kevin Barrett to educate the current student body on what Middle States is and why it's important, also to inform them that Middle States is coming, and so our students are aware. Blood drive is going well, and we're working on it. The t-shirts arrived, we're very well prepared, and we're ready to go. And lastly, a month before my term is over, I'm going to be asking for an anonymous written evaluation of my performance as a student trustee. The reason I'm going to be doing that is for two reasons, actually. One, personally, there's a lot of things that I know I've done right, but I've also done wrong. And if there's an anonymous evaluation, I could take that and move forward professionally, as well as hoping to be on another board one day to take what you guys have taught me and move forward. But also, I applaud Dr. Wood for trying to leave this college better than he started, and I want to have that impact as well. And so I want to make sure that I have an anonymous written evaluation to give to the next trustee, so they can see what I did do right, but also see the things that I did wrong. Publicly, I don't get critiqued by you guys that much, and that's fine. I hope I'm doing everything well. But if there are things that I'm not doing, I want to be able to show the next trustee what exactly that was, so he can improve upon those things. And I want to congratulate Ben, because he emails me a lot of stuff, and congratulations on your promotion, and Eric as well. And with that, that is the end of my report.
Good. Thanks. Well done.
Wow, thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, I'd like to just mention for the record that the board had a very successful, what I think is a very successful retreat on March 3rd at the Haverstraw campus, which was a very impressive place and a great place to have our meeting. We were lucky enough to have Joanna Duncan Portier, Vice Chancellor of SUNY, come and speak to us. We also discussed, we had an ethics presentation and talked about trustee member selection also. So I just want to thank all the board members. We had good representation, and I want to thank you all for being here. Okay, is there any old or new business?
Just one piece of new business. Rockland Community College has been asked to host the first regional council. The governor last year mandated each of the chancellors set up regions across the state, which very much replicate the regional economic development councils, and they've been very slow. There's been a lot of concern about how they were established and so forth, and very concerned under having at least one before the end of the new budget year begins on April 1st. They're not going to quite make that, but we are going to have the first one in the state here at this campus. Rockland has been asked to host that, and I have been asked by my peers to be the representative for this region and chair the regional council. And I was really happy to find today that Professor Baker will be representing the Faculty Council of Community Colleges, and he will be the faculty representative from the region on that council. So I'm very pleased about that. And so he will be joining me on April the 23rd. And the Lieutenant Governor,
Will you wear a tuxedo now?
I'll be wearing a tie. He only has great shirts and ties. And the Lieutenant Governor, they picked that date because she will actually be here. So if any of you all would like, you're always welcome as guests. She will be here on that evening.
And I think Tal will be here.
Pardon?
Isn't Tal going to be?
Yes, our student, I forgot, I didn't see. Yes, he's our student representative. So Rockland is taking over the region. We're doing that in a good way.
Okay, any other old or new business? If not, I'd just like to announce that we're going to go into executive session and that no action will be taken in executive session. So can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Who is the second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.